And we are live from the beautiful Mayakoba Resort just south of Cancun. And what a day we had in round one. Joaquin Niemann doing his thing, making it happen under 60. What an incredible performance by him. We got to see Rahm come in hot. And here we are, welcoming you to Club 54 post-show. Couldn't be more excited in this beautiful weather. And I have a great co-host joining me today for some fun. We're going to talk golf. As you can see, the Mayakoba Resort is beautiful, and here is the leaderboard for today. My goodness. Niemann coming in hot. Bryson DeChambeau getting 58 last year, and here comes Niemann with 59. What an incredible display of golf we just had from that. So much fun, and here we are to talk about it a little bit more. I'm your host, Christian Crosby. Welcome to Club 54 post-show. I cannot wait to get started to talk about today. It's been a pretty incredible day, but I want to introduce to you guys my co-host who has been rocking out all day long in this beautiful sun, and here she is, just in time to get started for the show. Hardest working woman in show business. You know her from Fairway to Heaven Pod. She's our LIV Golf broadcaster and my favorite person ever.
Aww.
Sue-Ann. Thank you so much, Sue-Ann, for joining me for this. I'm so excited.
That was quite an intro. I was not expecting that entire introduction about me. But yes, I was quite literally here like a minute before we went live. Just got off the golf course, got to watch 3 amazing players today. That was an absolute treat to be inside the ropes, witnessing some of the best golfers play. Obviously, we had Taylor Gooch, who was last year's individual champion, as well as Cam Smith, who came in second in the individual championship. And then, of course, our newcomer and superstar, Rahm. Man, look.
My goodness. Sounds like you had yourself a day. She's actually being modest, everyone. She literally ran in here, took off one headset and threw on the other right before we got started. Very impressive. Let's take a look at some of Rahm's highlights, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Take a look. All right.
Man, he was off to a hot start, especially here on birdie at 1.
So talk me through this, Sue-Ann. When you're starting off with so much pressure, how do you push through that to have such a performance like this?
Well, funny you ask. I got to talk to him after the round for our main show, and he said, golf is his safe haven. It's what he can rely on. It's a place that he can hide and hibernate and do what he does best, which is what he showed today. That performance was just spectacular to watch. I mean, we talked all the way through the broadcast how much pressure he's been under throughout this entire month. So much scrutiny, criticism from most, not all. And it's difficult, it's difficult from a mental strength perspective to really then tune all that out, come out today and play the way he played with absolute class.
I watched the broadcast. I heard Jerry tell you, he asked you, does he have a new sheriff in town energy? And you spoke to that a little bit earlier. I want you to speak to that now as we're watching these highlights.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can certainly see in those eyes on Rahm today. Just he's got that firepower. And like I said in the halftime show today in our main coverage, it is really the way he's showing his confidence, his grit, his determination, and how much he is a competitor. No matter where he plays, he is going to bring his best golf.
During it, I think you mentioned the word swag.
Oh, yeah.
The way he carries himself. Now, I want to ask you, how much do you think that confidence and that, we'll call it swag, how much do you think that translates into his game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, golf is a mental sport at the end of the day, and you have to have self-belief. That's the biggest thing in our sport, and I think in any professional sport at any level. And that's what he had today. He had that swag. He's always had that swag. But to do it on a stage like he did today, when you know that all eyes are on you, everybody is watching you, you've been through so much in the last month, not to mention, like I said, he's had to put a team together, guys. I mean, it's not just about himself anymore. That's the biggest shift that he mentioned in his press conference. For him, it's not about the individual sport anymore. It's about the team. He's got to learn how to captain players. He's got to learn how to manage those players. And by the way, there's 2 players on his team that he didn't really know or have met or got to know very often, Caleb and Kieran. So, to then meet them this week and have to manage that as well is a lot. It's just a lot. And then to come out and play golf the way he did, impressive.
I say it's safe to say he came to win, right? We're going to take a look at this feature of Jon Rahm. Check it out.
When I grew up playing golf, I mean, first it was, let's say, the county, let's say the state, and the national team. Up until I turned pro, I was related to a team my entire life. That's something that always resonated with me. They're all fantastic players. Look at the year Cam had before he went to LIV and how he's played in LIV.
Cameron Smith has decimated a world-class field.
I want to see how Cam does it on the putting green. It's just unbelievable.
He is so good. You have a man shooting 58, I think people are plenty competitive.
It's incredible!
You can't say he's not one of the best golfers in the world.
Simply magnificent.
I'm excited to be a part of it and keep playing good golf and hopefully make my mark here as well.
He's here, and he is here to win.
Ing. That's in plural, hopefully getting more than one win. If it's only one, hopefully the last one. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, you compete to win. You compete to win. If not, you don't compete. Let's go.
Jon Rahm is an absolute stud.
He looks like he was having a bit too much fun in that shoot.
It really did. Now, I got to ask you before we go into the next player you spent time with, how do you manage your day getting to spend time with these guys, but also doing your job?
It's called adrenaline. That's kind of what I run on most of the time. I mean, you run on this natural high. For me, it's like I'm a golf fan at first, right? So for me to be able to witness these guys on a weekly basis out here on LIV is such a treat. And I always have to pinch myself. And I think today more than ever, I had to pinch myself and say, hang on, I've got Taylor Gooch, I've got Cam Smith, and I've got Jon Rahm. I mean, it's like, pinch me already.
And you don't necessarily have an off season. You're constantly doing your podcast. You're constantly active. So, did today feel any different? First day back vibes, first day of school vibes?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I certainly had, nervousness, like you said. It's a first day school vibe. We had some new players join us. Some were pretty last minute, to be announced. And so to come out here knowing that there's some new players, a new team, there's a slightly different format this year. We're going to count 4 rounds on Sunday, all these stuff. And I think just generally, I haven't done this in 7 weeks, right? So it's like, what am I supposed to do again? Did I forget how to do my job?
Doesn't look like it at all. Let's talk Cam Smith a little bit. We got some highlights here. He did great today.
Oh, thank you.
So
thank
you followed you followed him around. What's your first takeaway from watching his game up close?
Well, I mean, he's had a busy off season, Cam Smith. He's gotten married. His wife was out here, Chanel, supporting him the entire way. He spent a whole bunch of time in Australia, so I don't really know how much time he had to prepare coming into this week. Married life, it takes a little while. You want to do your honeymoon. You want to spend time with your wife. But, today, certainly you can tell there was a little rust in his game, but not too much. He shook it off pretty quickly. He added a 3-iron into his bag, and he took out his trusty 7-wood, which is his favorite club in the bag, by the way. And of course, as you would expect from Cam Smith, he's a putting king. And what can I say?
Right,
he's a putting king.
Right there. And walks away like it's nothing, which you got to love that. I want to get into Taylor Gooch and what you thought about his performance today.
Yeah.
As we said earlier, you got to follow all 3 of these guys. The individual scoring champ from last year. How do you think he did today?
Yeah, I mean, I think Taylor would have walked away today pretty disappointed. I think he's on the range right now trying to fine-tune some stuff. Just like Cam, he had a lot going on in the off-season. Him and his wife, Allie, just welcomed their second child. Yeah. So he's got a newborn and a toddler at home. He's also had to go through a house renovation. He's also got some side businesses that he was very much engaged with in the off season. And on top of that, he's got more stuff going on. So, he's had a lot going on, and he said to me he wishes the off season was a little longer.
Yeah.
But here he is. You can certainly tell there was a little rust on that game, but I'm pretty sure he's going to come out tomorrow and play even better than he did today.
Yeah, he didn't perform how he wanted to today, but let's take a look at his incredible run from last year. Check it out.
Taylor, the golfing world started knowing who he was, and then when he got to LIV, he became Taylor as we know and love him now, right?
This is Taylor Gooch.
What impressed me the most about last year is watching him be a husband, be a dad, and then grind it on the golf course. I mean, he was grinding because he knew where he wanted to go.
It's an absolute masterclass.
He was on cruise control, like it was automatic. The shot he hit was down the fairway. The putts he hit was going in.
Strong stuff there.
Players get on this run. They get in the zone, they get on this run, they become confident, they become fearless. And that's what I saw.
He's a LIV Golf winner for the very first time.
After you get that first taste of the victory, you want it again.
First man to win back-to-back LIV Golf titles. It's been a road trip he will never forget.
So when you look at a good young player like Taylor Gooch, you know when they win a LIV event that they won against a world-class field.
Oh, goodness!
If he'd have put that performance together on say a PGA Tour setting, I think he'd be a top 10, top 15 player in the world right now.
Oh my goodness! Over and over again. Incredible!
I think he's got that type of game.
Taylor Gooch is our champion golfer.
Well, obviously, we'll have multiple winners again on this league. I mean, winning 3 times in a year, that's going to be tough.
Beautiful view here of Mayakoba Resort. Just about 35 minutes from Cancun Airport, and look at that view.
It doesn't suck, does it?
It does not suck at all. Suan, what's your favorite part about this area here?
I mean, you gotta say it's the beach, right? I mean, that clear blue water. But this golf course, El Camaleon, is absolutely stunning. Designed by Greg Norman. There's some great holes. It really tests the golfers and every aspect of their game. And this year, as I mentioned in the main show, they've really tightened the fairways, making this golf course so much more difficult than it was last year. And a few changes to some new greens, 4, 8, and a brand new tee on 18th, making that even a tougher hole.
And Mayakoba is a special place for me. It's where I feel, more emotions.
The home galleries loved that.
It's the perfect scenario. You're gonna go play golf to this paradise, so you're not playing golf, you're at the beach. It just doesn't get any better. You don't even have to go in, but just sitting at the beach and hearing the sound, that's just something that makes it so much even nicer.
I know my family and friends are here. Obviously, I'm playing in front of my people. It just feels different, and I love that.
I love going back because I feel that extra compromise to find a way to perform for these people.
Starting in Mexico it's a great spot, and I'm just pumped to compete, man.
Make sure you guys join the club. As you can see, a whole lot of fan excitement going on here at LIV Golf. Take a look at these tweets and posts. You can see yourself up here as well. All you got to do, post something up there. I want to talk a little bit about the LIV Golf fans, Suan. What's your experience with these fans? They're very active on social media and have a whole lot to say. What's your take?
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much to talk about here on LIV Golf because it's not just about the individuals anymore. It is about the team. And I think that's what most people can hop on board, cheer a team, go get the merchandise. It's just like any team sport, baseball, football, NBA. I mean, all these people are now able to be involved in the team and support that team.
Well, I see these tweets here. Big shout out to Jake_Span. He said, that putting stat between Gooch and Cam last season is insane. Just goes to show how easily Cam could win tournaments if his driver is more reliable. He's got a lot to say. A lot of fans got a lot to say. And we're used to that. So we're back here with you, Suan. Oh, man. All right. So we had a special performance today. And we have to talk about it. Niemann did his thing. I want to talk about how special it was. I think this was the second player in LIV Golf history to hit under 60. Is this correct?
Absolutely. The first was Bryson at the Greenbrier. That was phenomenal. Dom got to watch that, and Dom got to watch Waco today. I didn't get to watch a single shot, but I could hear it in my ear, and I was following the action in my ear the whole time and cheering him on. We talked to him on our podcast, Fairway to Heaven, and he mentioned, he did some work in the off-season with his coach, Ido, as well as some physical work at the gym. If you follow him on social media, you can see how much work he has put in, and it's paid off. He won in Australia in the off-season. He played in the Dubai Desert Classic just a few weeks ago. He was in the final group with Rory McIlroy, ended up finishing tied 4th, I believe. So he's really coming into this week with a lot of momentum. He played a lot of competitive rounds during the off-season, which I think is playing to his advantage here in Mexico.
Well, we got the highlights from today. Let's take a look at some of these and break it down. Check this out. All right, so Sue-Ann, let's talk about this. All right.
Man, I mean, he's a guy.
Today.
Yeah, he's a guy with a lot of dynamics in his game. He is very athletic. He's one of the most mobile athletes out here. If you watch his action, how much he dips is incredible. It's so athletic. Ball striking was obviously on point today to be able to shoot a 59. And of course, your putts have to roll in, or at least close. Athletes often talk about this thing called the zone, being in the zone, and it's almost like a trance, and it's just when you're in that, I feel like you're just continuing and you keep going and you keep going and you just embrace it. But yes, I'm sure at some point he was thinking about the 59. He had to be thinking about the 59, and it's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult to block that out and continue playing, especially with the difficult holes that he had coming through the final few holes.
So here's a couple more shots from today, finishing absolutely strong. Look at that.
Wow.
Goodness.
I didn't get to see that shot. That was the first time I've seen that shot. And oh my goodness, it looks like he didn't really quite know if it went in.
Gotta love the thumbs up and the wave after he hits it in there. He's like, oh, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. Man, now of course he was putting beautifully all day today.
Look at this. It just, nothing could go wrong for him today.
No, nothing could. And he was very focused. You can tell by his eyes, the way he walked. Now here on tee of 15, win off the right, front hole location, stunning shot there.
Look at this here. I think this is our final highlight here. This is the last shot. Yeah. And there it is. Gotta love that. I mean, I was glued to my seat just watching him all day today. It had to be fun seeing that.
I was trying to keep up with everything. I was following John's group. I was trying to listen to the broadcast to see what Waco was doing. It was just all over the place. It was an exciting day.
Well, the question is, Torquay GC, are they the team to beat? Well, only time will tell. But let's take a look at this feature here. Check it out.
Probably 6 or 7 teams that could win the thing, and you wouldn't be surprised.
Torquay looked really strong.
Every day there was someone shooting like 5-6 on the par.
They learned how to win, and they just kept winning.
Torquay is so deep, like they go 1 through 4 as good as anybody.
Obviously the Crushers we won last year, extremely solid.
The Crushers are what they did last year. I feel like you have to pay attention to them.
They're the ones on the mountaintop right now. They're holding the trophy. They got their hands on the trophy. Nobody else does.
The Fireballs are going to be a strong team this year.
Having Gooch in there, who played really good in the second half of the season, is going to be a good team.
I'm only focused on our team, to be honest with you. That's the only team I care about.
What Brooks has done with Smash, that's definitely going to be a team that we're going to be battling out quite a bit this year.
Any team that Taylor Gooch happens to be on is obviously a team you got to kind of watch out for.
I mean, they're going to be super strong.
The Stingers are always a very strong team.
They've won tournaments. Louis coming on really strong. 4 aces are always going to be the 4 aces. They've created that name. They've created that environment.
4 aces, obviously, with Dustin and them are always going to be strong, in the addition of Harold Varner.
They got, great 4 players.
It really is everybody, right?
All right, we're joined with a special guest, Marc Leishman. Thank you so much for joining us, Win. Thanks for sticking here with me. How was your day today?
Yeah, I had a decent day. Shot 3 under, so you know, it was, as far as rounds go around here for me, it was pretty good. Nice way to start the year.
Well, there was some significant changes this year. You played here last year. New greens on 4 and 8. New tee box on the 18th, making that hole even harder, playing 30 yards longer. And the biggest change, I think, it was that the fairways are significantly tighter. Talk us through what was your game plan today and how did you attack the golf course?
Yeah, they were significantly narrower. We did notice that early in the week, and I guess Waco was hitting his driver pretty well today to shoot what he did, because it's tough to come in out of the rough around here. It just hits the green and releases, so it's very important to be on the fairway, and to be on the fairways you have to be driving it really well. So that was the key, to try and hit the fairways, and then obviously making putts is always a big thing, not only here but on any golf course.
Now, of course, you have your individual strategy for the day, but now there's the team game in play, obviously. What's the team strategy that you have?
Team strategy, well, I think, you know, when you're playing as a team in golf, if you worry about yourself, the team takes care of itself. So that's what I'm trying to do, just try and shoot good scores, have as good a score as I can, and hopefully we all play well and combine well as a team, particularly the first 2 days.
Well, speaking of team, how about your new team member, Lucas Herbert? How has that team dynamic been like? You've been together for, 5 days, if that?
Yeah.
How's that been?
Yeah, it's been good. You know, we didn't know Lucas too well. We've known him for a long time, but never really spent a whole lot of time with him. So it's been good to get to know him this week. He's fitting in pretty well. So we're enjoying to get to know him more as the year goes on, and hopefully enjoy some success together.
Well, I love his Instagram tag. His name on Instagram is Herbs and Spices.
Oh, I love that.
So it's like a great take on his actual name, Herbert. So anyways, let's look at some highlights.
Yeah, we got some highlights here. Let's take a look.
This is your captain, Cam.
Cam Smith making a 15-footer, which doesn't really surprise me too much.
Doesn't surprise me either after watching him for a whole season last year.
Yeah, with as nice as these greens are, if you can just start the ball on line, you know, you're a good chance to make it. So certainly not surprised to see Cam roll a couple in, and Herbie's a pretty good putter too by the looks of it, so hopefully you can continue that for the rest of the year.
I'm curious, have you ever asked Cam for any putting advice when maybe you haven't been putting as well as you'd like to?
Well, I didn't need to here on 8 today, which was a good one, but yeah, I always try and pick his brain a little bit. Cam's so good with the wedges and putter that I have spoken to him about it, and you know, he's always happy to give up a bit of advice here and there, but
well, look at this. We have a tweet coming in. Welcome to the Ripper GC family, Lucas Herbert. Check that out. The sweet graphic there. And we want to encourage you guys also, be as active as you possibly can on social media. We are going to make sure we take care of you guys. You never know. You could make the post show at any moment.
Well, you can follow Marc Leishman on his social page if you're very keen on grass cutting.
Yeah, I've got a fair bit of grass up there. Grass and beer tends to be, but a little bit of golf in there as well.
Now, I got to ask you, favorite thing about this course and least favorite thing about this course?
Well, it's probably the same thing. I think it's very unforgiving off the tee. There's a lot of trouble out there, and I think that's also the best thing about it, because it punishes bad shots. It doesn't have to be a really bad shot to get punished pretty severely. Today was probably a little bit different story because there wasn't a whole lot of wind, but normally there's a lot of wind, and if you just miss hit shots a little bit, it gets blown all over the place. So that's probably the best and worst thing about it, is all the easiest and hardest, you could say. So it's it's a good place to play.
It does make a lot of sense. I absolutely love it here. I think we want to do this thing with you called form check in a little bit, right?
You're gonna have to break down a couple of swings for us, Lee.
All right.
And feel free.
Who are we looking at?
Feel free to banter, okay?
All right. What is he about? Oh, that's got some power in that one.
Your son plays golf.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's a future long driver here. that was pretty good form, actually. Good setup, doing all the fundamentals well. So the club's about the right length for him, and winds it up at the top and let it rip. Yeah.
How about that leg work?
Very happy with that swing.
All right, let's check out this one right here. Maybe you give us a scale from 1 to 10 grade or something like that.
That's a D. I think you could slow it down just a little bit on the way back. But that's a good. I think on his good days he'd be a really good player, and then I'd say he'd spray a few. I don't want to be too harsh, but that was. I'd say my advice would be slow it on the way back a little bit. Here we go. That's a good mop of hair.
I like that.
He's giving Cam a run for his money.
That could be an unbelievable mullet at any moment. Where is he at Top Golf there?
Okay, we have one more here. What do you think?
I'm glad we didn't see the ball flight there.
I wish there was a top tracer on that.
That looks cold wherever he is. Where
it
is
does
he
look cold.
In Dallas.
Dallas.
That looks like that would have hurt a little bit. No, he's that's a cold swing. That's cold weather. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he was just a little stiff there.
The Aussie is too kind.
Very diplomatic answer. Great job, Mark. Hey, thank you so much for your time, for stopping in. We really appreciate it, man. All right, let's check out the board here, and there it is, the leader board. We're out here recapping round 1 in Mayakoba. It's beautiful. Stick around for more. We are going to talk more golf with Sue Ann Hang.
It's certainly been elevated compared to last year. Everyone's feeling the heat. Everyone's excited for John to be out here competing. So, yeah, it's certainly been elevated.
Absolutely. And as you can see, people have been excited about Niemann's performance. That's all we're seeing on the timeline. And once again, we're asking you guys, feel free to tweet. And we are back here putting these up on the screen for you guys to see. Don't be shy. You can post right now. We might throw it up there.
Yeah,
I absolutely love the excitement from today. For
yeah, sure. I mean, and if you have a good tweet, we might actually read it.
Right. We got to be careful about some of these tweets, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of chat about Joaquin and his round today, of course. And, that is a stunning round. And, of course, everyone is cheering him on. 59 is always a fun one to watch.
Now, as we look at these tweets, I do want to ask you just a little bit about tomorrow. What do you think we can expect to see tomorrow? How different from today will it look?
Well, I think, John is going to go out there and do his thing. Waco, it's always difficult to back around like 59, but Bryson did do that.
So, Ann, we actually just got word. Rachel Drummond is over there with Andy Ogletree. Let's jump over there as fast as we can. Hey, Rachel, what's going on down there?
Hi, I'm here with Andy Ogletree. Very kindly let us talk to him about his cool down. Now, Andy, you had 4 birdies on the back 9. Was there a little bit of rust on the front?
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't get in a rhythm. Every time I would make a birdie or do something good, I would follow it by hitting in the hazard or not converting on a par 5 or just barely reaching a bunker that I didn't think I could reach, stuff like that. So knocking off a little bit of the off-season rust and trying to get in tournament form again.
Well, the back 9 was definitely that. Now, your ball flight is normally a fade. You haven't missed one now. Is the cool down now more mental, or are you thinking about technique?
I was, thinking about a couple things on the course that I didn't really want to try mid-tournament, but a couple things that I thought might work are I'm seeing work well on the range here this afternoon. So hopefully apply that stuff tomorrow morning and know what I'm going to work on in the gym tomorrow morning to get my body going and hopefully hit a lot of good shots tomorrow.
Let's see you clip a few more. They just sound different out here, Andy. Now I see the ball position is forward in your stance. Is that to help achieve the fade?
Yeah, it's always been a little forward. I play my best golf when the ball is falling a little bit to the right. So I like it to be forward, and I like to feel like I cover my chest to get the club playing on top. And that usually presents a little bit of a little fade.
Am I putting you off here? Nice and close. You can still do it under pressure. Now, there's obviously the team element. Will you have chats with Captain Phil?
Yeah, for sure. We all talk a lot, and I know our team didn't have our best day today, but with the new format and all 4 scores counting on Sunday, if we can have a good round tomorrow, we'll still have a chance on Sunday. So that's the hope for the team, and I think everyone's just trying to do their best. And first tournament of the season, you don't really know where your game's at, and don't really, can't really piece around together if you're not striking on all cylinders. So it's tough, and it is what it is.
Well, your back 9, 4 birdies. We're going to channel those.
Yeah, we're not gonna mention the double that I had and the bogey on the par 5, but yeah, 4 birdies is nice.
Andy, no. Right, final question. How much does this course setup suit a fade?
I mean, you got to work it both ways around here. It doesn't really matter which way you work it. You just have to hit it in the fairway, and fairways are really narrow and the rough's up right now, so it's hard to keep the ball on the green if you miss the fairway. And it's pretty penal off the tee, and I unfortunately hit it in the hazards a lot today, so I need to clean that up tomorrow.
You won't do it tomorrow. One more. How much has your caddy helped you out there?
Well, he helped a lot. He got an earful on hole 2. He's probably ready. He's probably mad at me right now, but we're all good.
Anything you want to add?
I took him off his groove. There was a guy walking. I didn't like it. I told the guy to stop. Andy thought I was talking to him. I messed him up. That was my bad.
I'm about tomorrow, Andy. Just saying. Right. Good luck in the rest.
I'll lose sleep over that one tonight a little bit.
Good luck the rest of the week. Thank you so much, Andy.
Great job, Rachel. And
Christian.
another tweet coming in here. Gotta love this.
LIV Golf Mayakoba wildcard players Hudson Swafford and Laurie Canter will enter the field as the 2 wildcard players this week. And speaking of which, we do have one of them here with us, kind enough to join us on the post show, Laurie Canter. Laurie, well done today, 5 under par. Talk us through your round and what went well for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I hit the ball well tee to green, which I think you've got to do, especially on that back 9. There's 3 or 4 really smelly tee shots.
Smelly.
Yeah, smelly. And I managed to get through those well. Then it's just about trying to put yourself in the right areas. I mean, I don't know what Joaquin Niemann has done today to shoot that, because I just don't see anything like that score. Like, I think a score in the 60s is good work. So, yeah, I mean, if you take him out, I feel like I played pretty good golf today.
Now, coming out of today, what is your game plan going into tomorrow? Are you feeling more confident than ever before? Do you feel like making some adjustments? What are you feeling for tomorrow?
I think that's a good question. I don't think I'd make a lot of adjustments from today. Like, I was personally pretty happy with how I played. I think really, if you get your ball in play off the tee, you can go at a few of the flags. It depends what they do tomorrow. I imagine the guys setting up the course aren't going to like the fact someone shot 59 today, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's the course is set up well. It's about going out, executing good shots, tee to green, hopefully holding a few putts. But I'd say probably as much as any course that I've played on LIV, it's a bit of a patience test. It's putting yourself in the right spots.
Well, you talked about how shooting in the 60s is a great score out here. You shot in the 60s today, so let's check out some of your highlights for the day, and maybe you can talk us through some of them too.
That was on the back of 1. Yeah, I hit it in the left rough there. Kind of had to take my medicine along the hole and hold a great putt there down the hill.
Here's the second one. Look at that right there.
Just on the second. Yeah.
Talk to us. How does that feel?
I had a good number there. I had a good number. Just a full wedge. That was into 4.
This one's on the 4th. Yep. Okay. That's a great birdie there.
That's good.
Yeah, I didn't hit a great second there into the par 5. That was quite a tricky chip, but I was happy if I played that. Kind of had to bump it up through these sprinkler heads.
So I got to ask you, what are you most proud of from your performance today?
But probably how I drove the ball. Yeah, I mean, I think the back 9, it's you need a couple of draws off a tee, which isn't a shot that I particularly love. I like fading the ball, probably more of a natural left to right player. So probably the tee shots I hit on the back 9 were great, which set up some chances to make birdies.
Well, you're coming in here as a wild card, as we mentioned earlier. Does that put additional pressure on you to perform well because you only do have 2 events? You have limited events to play in. Does that make you feel perhaps more pressure playing?
Maybe. I think I've probably got a bit of a chip on my shoulder. I didn't get through the promotions. I didn't get picked up by a team. So like it gives me, I've got motivation to go and play well and show the captains I'm a decent player. That's probably my motivation. That's all I need, really. I think, I know I'm a good enough player to be out here and play. I just, hopefully these next 2 weeks I can play well, get some points on the board, and that helps me going forward this year or at the end of the year, depending on the open zones or the lock zones and that kind of stuff.
What are your thoughts on Jon Rahm and his new team? I know Tyrrell is probably someone you've played with a fair bunch. So is John. Just talk us through what your thoughts on their team and John's, here being on LIV.
Well, I love the logo, and I like. I think the logo. I think the team name, the concept of the team is really, really cool. It's obviously a lot of thoughts gone into that about what he wants it to represent, the kind of people he wants on his team. And I think that that's great. Him as a person and a player. I don't know him actually terribly well as a person yet, but he's one of my favourite golfers to watch. I love how he plays the game. Like he's got all the shots, and I think he's just an amazing addition to the league, obviously.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Laurie. We appreciate you. Thanks for your time.
No worries.
And good luck tomorrow.
Cheers.
Play well tomorrow,
Thanks
Laurie.
for having me.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right. And there you go, round 1, looking at that board right there, the team leaderboard. So, Ann, I've been having a blast with you. You've been rocking out with me. I love this. Let's talk about this team leaderboard. Today was great.
Listen, I'm not surprised Torquay is up there. Last year, 4-time winner. They do have a new team member this year, Carlos Ortiz. But the Cleeks, how about the Cleeks? In second place, tied with the 4 Aces as well as the Stinger GC.